pressure in, the airplane's going to want to climb. So we got to remember to round out, maybe push the nose forward slightly. This looks good. Let's do another turn. This time, let's turn to the east. So let's turn 090. So nice smooth turn to the left. There we go. Just like that. And then also kind of looking outside and being like, maybe my nose should be pointing roughly in between that yellow sand, and that'll maybe have me near east. Perfect. Let's do one more, this time to the south again. Nice. We'll keep that turn coming, we'll keep it going all the way till we get to 180, which maybe will be pointing somewhere out there towards those more brown fields. Yeah. Very nice. Oh shoot, well, I thought we were going to have a little bit more time to do something, but let's turn back now to a heading of 0, which is 360 for north. So I'll have you do a left turn, yep, 180 degrees, so we'll bank 30 degrees, which is this tick mark right there. Very nice.
This is 30, right?
Yep, 30 is this tick mark. That little ball is 45.
45, okay.
This one is 60, and that one right there is 90. So yeah, that's 30 right there, that first tick mark. Sweet. And then we'll aim for the south tip of the geopool right there. And in a moment here, I'm going to have you descend, but not yet, just because I see there's an airplane below us. That's all right. This looks good.
Good to descend a little bit.
Yeah, you're good. Now, okay, yeah, now we're good to descend. There's just an airplane over to our right. I was just making sure he wasn't on course for us. So now to start descent down to 2,000, I'm going to have you pull this carb heat. So carb heat first, and then bring your power to maybe 1,800. Yep, and then we'll pitch down slightly. And then we'll just make sure our wings level. Yep, there we go. And then we'll fly, you see those big stacks right there, those smokestacks? We'll just fly a little bit to the left of it, just so we don't fly right over those smokestacks. This looks good. We'll descend all the way down to 2,000 on the dot.
Contact, you have information, Papa.
Okay, it's still Papa. Wait. Very nice. Looks good. So the reason I have you pull that carb heat is I don't want you to accidentally get something called carburetor icing.
Okay.
So I'll send you a video on that later today that kind of explains what all that is. So we'll keep aiming for the south tip. We'll just kind of do a little turn just around these little smokestacks because they also produce a lot of heat. And if we fly right over them, it's going to be like boom, 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 pretty bumpy. This looks good. Nice. Now for the rest of this flight, I want you to try flying with just one hand there and then one hand on the throttle. There you go. This is how you're going to be flying for the rest of forever. Every pilot you see uses one hand, because the other hand's on the throttle. So this looks good. once we get close to 2,000, same thing again, we'll pitch up. We'll turn off the carb heat, we'll push it all the way in because we're not going to be descending anymore. And we'll, so carb heat in, we'll pitch up to stop the descent and add in some cruise power.
3757 Kilo Grand Prairie.
Very nice.
And left downwind for running 1857 Kilo.
That looks good. And then we'll keep flying toward the south. See how the wind is kind of like blowing us diagonally? Yep. This looks good. We'll just keep flying like that. Yeah, this looks good. The reason for that is we don't want to get blown into those towers, but where you're flying right now looks good. I'll let you know if I want you to change your course, but right now this looks perfect. You're doing a really good job holding your altitude today. Oh yeah, we're going to hit those thermals again that we hit earlier right here. Nice job watching your altitude.
Grand Prairie information, Papa's now.
Nice. We'll just keep flying towards the south tip of the lake here. I'll let you know when to have me turn, but this looks good right now. Yep. You'll notice the wind will try to kind of move you around, and all you're really doing is being like, no, I gotta stay here. But it's never gonna flip you upside down or any of that stuff up here. It's just gonna kind of push you left and right, up and down. So don't slow down too much. So I want your airspeed to be roughly at like 90. So put that power back in. If not, you're gonna slowly start descending. So we'll put that power back at like 2,200, 2,300. So airspeed, the more airspeed you have, the more wind going over those control surfaces, the more authority you have in the controls. You'll notice here when we come into land, I might be moving the controls a lot, and we're really not moving a whole lot. Just because we're going so slow, there's not a lot of wind going over those surfaces. So I lose a little bit of that authority. Let me give these guys a call real quick. Grand Prairie Towers, Skyhawk 27717, Tango, south tip of Joe Pool, inbound full stop with Papa.
2777 Tango Grand Prairie, inner left downwind for running 18.
Left downwind for 1877 Tango. Wait, so now I'm going to have you, remember that bridge we flew over?
Pardon?
Remember that bridge we flew over to the earlier today? I'm going to have you kind of fly around it to the right.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of come around to the right a little bit. Nice, this looks good. And it might be a little bit tricky to see Grand Prairie, but the more you come out here, the more you'll be able to find it. So that big, huge field over there, that's Arlington. I wish that was Grand Prairie. You can see it super easily. But Grand Prairie is kind of out there. There's a giant little green field, white water tower, kind of where those amusement park is. Or Traders Village. And the moment, yeah, you're good. Keep flying straight. I'll tell you to fly. I'll have you fly this in just a moment. Whoop, whoop. Let's try this as a heading. So, fly that heading bug. Oh, maybe that actually might have worked out perfect. We'll do a tiny bit more. Boop, right there. And then keep me at 2,000. The reason for that is if we were to lose our engine, we'd probably have to go swimming in Joe Pool Lake. And it's a nice lake. I've been swimming down there, but I don't want to go swimming today. So altitude will be our best friend. The other reason we're at 2,000 is we left at 2,500 and we're coming inbound at 2,000. Gives us 500 feet of separation. So it's important that you stay as best you can at 2,000 because if we get too high, then we start risking running into the people at 2,500 above us. But you see right off our nose, way in the distance, you have a bunch of white cylinders in a row, possibly.
Pardon?
Yep. I want you to fly the airplane towards those white cylinders. and that'll enter us on the downwind perfectly. Do you see Grand Prairie now? It's like a little square. The runway's kind of hard to see, but it's the only big kind of yellow/green patch. Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Maybe when we get a little bit closer. Wait. So now that we have a little bit of time and we know we're going to come into land, we'll do the pre-landing checklist. So I'll let you grab that checklist real quick. Sweet. So here we are before landing. Seatbelts. Seatbelts are on. Fuel selector. Both. Mixture. Rich. Yep. All the way in. Landing lights is on. And then the flaps will set later. And the autopilot, forget about that. We're not using autopilot. So the rest of it looks good. Sweet. So I'll have you keep aiming for those white cylinders. Yep.
3757 kilo, running 18, clear touch and go. Running 18, clear touch and go, 57 kilo.
And I kind of want you to follow along here with what we're going to do. So we're aiming for those white cylinders, staying as best we can at 2,000, so we're going to pitch the nose down. I want to start descending now, so carb heat goes in, and then bring this throttle to about 1,800. And we're going to descend now to 1,400. So back towards you. Oh, a little bit more back towards you. Let's say 1,800. Right there looks good. And now we'll pitch the nose down, just so we can descend. Yeah, just like that. You see Grand Prairie now, the field? Not yet. It's kind of 11 o'clock, so look at the
alright,
highway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize it was right from there.
Yep. That's
So we are going straight, taking a turn and coming back in. Okay.
Yes, sir. So we want to land with the headwind. So we're going to go downwind, turn base, and then come in on final. So what we're going to do is we're giving ourselves enough room on downwind and also on base and final. So I'll show you kind of what this looks like here. You're welcome to follow along.
I'm just checking you have controls, right?
Yes, I'm on here with you.
Okay.
You're also welcome to feel along with me, but we're going to introduce the pattern a little bit later.
Okay.
So now that we're getting close to 1,400, I'm going to put the carb heat back in, and then pitch up and add my cruise power, just so I can hold my altitude. I'll help myself out maybe with a tiny bit of trim. I'm looking at the runway. All that looks good. We did our pre-landing checklist, which is nice. And now I'm going to look at the end of the runway. So what I'm doing that for is I'm going to do a left to right sweep. When I get to the end of the runway, I'll pull the carb heat, bring my power to maybe 18, and then add my flaps to 10. So one, boom, boom. So I'll show you what that looks like. So there's the end of the runway. Carb heat comes on. I bring my power to 1,800, and I'm going to pitch up slightly to hold my altitude and watch my airspeed. It's going to decrease. I'll hold this down. 1, 2, 3.
Clear to land.
1-8 clear to land, 77 Tango. And now I'm going to pitch down to come in at around 80, 85 knots. This is where people get a little bit confused. This is the area of reverse command. So I'm pitching for my airspeed, adding power for my altitude.
Okay.
So I'll start a nice, smooth, gentle bank to the left so I can start entering my base turn. Oh wow, really bumpy today. Alright, this looks good. And then I'll go wings level right here. And then my second notch of flaps. 1, 2, 3. There's flaps 20. And then here I'll be roughly, as best I can, around 75. I'm looking at the end of the runway and I'm thinking, you know, I feel like maybe I'm a little bit low. I might add a touch of power. So maybe that's 100 or 200. And now I'll slowly start turning inbound towards the runway, just so I can time it out to where I don't feel like I have to chase the runway.
Perfect, tower, Cherokee 3757 kilo, this will be a full stop.
Yep.
November 57 kilo, rush.
If I feel like I'm getting a little bit low, I'll add more power. And that power is going to actually give me a little bit of altitude if I hold my airspeed. See how we're kind of ballooning up now? So now I'm going to add in full flaps, and this is going to give me even more lift. So now I'm going to add some nose down trim, and I'm going to bring that power maybe back to 1,800. And all I'm going to do here is try my best to hold 70, 65, 70.
Kilo number 2 behind traffic, short final, running 18 clear.
I'm using the rudders if I need to line up. as best I can with the center line. I'm using this power for my altitude, and I'm pitching for an airspeed. Yep, just like this. Not playing a whole lot with the power, I'm just kind of like watching it. If I feel like I'm getting too low, I might add more. If I feel like I'm too high, I might take some away. Yep, this looks good. And now here in landing, I'm going to slowly bring the power to idle. So I'm aiming for the numbers.
Okay.
Slowly bring the power to idle, just all the way out. And now I'm floating over the runway. I don't want to land the airplane. Once it's ready to settle, I'm looking down the end of the runway. I'll start to flare. Just like that. Flare, flare, flare. Oop, a little bit of a bounce there. And then I'll brake. Nice and gentle. Hold the nose wheel up. That's the shimmy dampener. Full braking. This comes back towards my chest. And then I'll kick my heel in.
Taxi Park Alpha.
Exit Park Alpha 77 Tango Seal. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Well, it's a little bit windy like that. If you hit a gust, it'll hit you like a brick. So, from here we do a nice right to left sweep. So, flaps come up after we've crossed that line. Flaps come up. This comes out for taxi right here. This goes back in. Strobe and landing go off. Trim for takeoff. We'll clear right, clear left. And then I'll add a little bit of power just to get me going so I can start taxiing to park.
That was a lot.
It is a lot, but that's why I said at the end, don't worry too much about this part because we're going to go over that in its own separate lesson. But
I was trying to keep track of how fast you were going and how much you're...
yeah, I was coming in at about like 70. The only reason I'd come in a little bit fast, when the wind is gusting that strong, I'd rather come in a little bit faster. The reason for that is you have, like I said, more maneuverability and more authority of your controls. So we'll park next to 23 Romeo. Alright. Looks good. I'll kick this over. I'll use a little bit of my right toe to make sure it closes in. And then I'll straighten it out here. Just to make sure, nice, I ran over the chain, so I know I'm right in the middle of it. And then nice and slow, both brakes here. And then we'll pull the park and brake all the way out. We'll turn off all the lights so nav comes off. We'll keep the beacon on. Oh, yep. And then lights, we'll kill the avionics up here. Yeah, we'll keep the, yep.